Happy New Year, everyone. Today is the first day of 2021. And I wanted to start off the year by coming out, taking a walk, getting some fresh air before a nasty storm rolls in today. Are you interested in joining me? If so, it's pretty simple. All you gotta do is come along with me. Welcome back. I'm glad you decided to join me. Today I'm coming to you from one of my favorite local places, Nay Aug Park. Behind me here is the tree house here, and this is a great place to come any time of year because there's trails to walk, beautiful sights, things to see, things to do, and we're going to basically walk some of the trails, take in some of the beautiful sights, snap a few photos, and probably share a few thoughts. So without wasting more time, come on, let's go. Now, one thing you'll notice as we make our way around, and right in front of us up on top of the tree house, is some Christmas decorations. They are still up from their Christmas drive-through display, so if you do see Christmas decorations, that is why. No, it's not officially abandoned. It is just part of their holiday draw to get people to come through and see the new LED light displays. So I'm sure we'll see them later on too. But we are walking what is known as the Davis Trail here. This is one of the main trails that comes through the park. It's pretty lengthy. It's not really difficult. There's some little hills here and there, but it does give you access to different parts. Back where we started is near the zoo area where there was some more Christmas decorations and a playground and stuff. And as we make our way through, we'll be kind of bypassing the Gorge, which is just down there. And if we follow it all the way through, it'll take us out kind of near the hospital, where the kind of, I guess you would call it, maybe not a courtyard, but like a park area where they have a gazebo, some benches, pavilions, stuff like that. So depending on how long you go, there's different things to see along the way, including views of the train tunnels as well. So we'll give you a view of that. But I'm pretty curious to see how the waterfall looks down the gorge because we had a lot of rain recently. And I could hear it in the distance. So we'll make our way down there first. I know it's kind of hard to see on this camera because it's such a wide angle, but we are looking down at Roaring Brook. And the covered bridge is down there in the distance. You can see the blue arches. And that gives you access to the back side of the tunnels if we wish to go there. As I pan over, you will see a platform there, which is a walking trail on the other side. Gives you a top side view of the gorge and the waterfall. We're going to be continuing straight along this way to see, or I should say to get to the access to get down to the gorge. Another quick side note too, for the first time I am using a brand new microphone set. This is the Momin wireless mic set. It is right here. You can see the wind muff. So it's completely wireless. I could get up to about 100 feet away from the camera if I choose to. And this is gonna be kind of like a trial run with it to see how the audio is. So let me know, how it sounds as I'm walking, turning my head, stuff like that. If it's coming through nice and clear, if there's any static or feedback, and if the decibel levels are too high or too low. You'll know as you hear it. It'll either sound absurdly loud or too low, or it'll sound just right. So I bought this for myself. It's a competitor of the Rode Wireless Go. It's about a third of the price. And from what I've seen on reviews, it works pretty good. So just wanted to point that out in case it does sound different, or you do notice I'm not wearing my purple panda. That is indeed wise. So any feedback will be greatly appreciated. Now over here, there is a map of the park, which I'll show you as I'm looking at it here. Shows you where the different trails go, what the park has to offer as far as the pool complex, the different playgrounds, obviously the Everhart Museum up in front too. So this is one of many maps here to show you where you're situated currently and where the trails that you're currently on will take you to, including bathroom access, which is greatly important. People always want to know where's the nearest bathroom. If you're a guy like me, if there's no one around, you could, take a quick relief behind a tree. But otherwise, if you're a female or a child or have to do number two, it's good to know where the bathrooms are. One thing you will notice throughout the park are these signs about restricted area, restricted access, stay on the trail, $300 fine. That is in due to part of people going off trail and either getting hurt or getting trapped in the gorge, the waterfall area. There's been countless deaths here, unfortunately, and numerous people haven't been rescued throughout the years. So they do have those signs there kind of advising you, don't do anything you shouldn't do. Stay on the main trails so that you don't put yourself or anyone else's lives in danger. And as I've shown this in the past, Nay Aug Gorge has been designated a National Natural Landmark. And from here you do get a decent vantage point, especially now in the wintertime with the leaves are gone. You can tell that water is flowing pretty good. So there is indeed a trail that we will take down there, and it'll get us up close and personal. It'll also be a good test for the mic too, because it's pretty loud in front of the water, and we'll find out whether or not you could still hear me or not with the new microphone. One thing I'm noticing too, which we'll see a little bit later on as we continue further down the Davis Trail, there is a viewing platform of the train tunnels, as I've mentioned and shown in the past. From here I can see the whole face of the tunnels are covered in icicles. So it looks pretty amazing. So definitely gonna be photo worthy, and it's gonna look pretty spectacular. Right now it's in the low 30s. It's not cold enough to have anything super frozen, but there are indeed plenty of icicles hanging off the cliff. And with the storm coming today, it's supposed to be a pretty ugly one. They're calling for rain, snow, ice, a drop in temperature, so anything that does come down wet will freeze as the night goes on. And they're calling for even travel restrictions on the highways. So that's why I came here today, early in the day, many hours ahead of the storm that's coming. And as we see, there are people here too, kind of having the same thought that let's get out, let's start out 2021 in a good way with some exercise, some fresh air, some nature, but let's do it before the storm comes. So without rambling anymore, come on, let's go. Now, there's a good chance my ears could be playing tricks on me. I do believe I may have heard a train horn. And if I did, and it's coming this way, we'll have a great vantage point of it because the Delaware Lackawanna rolls through here, which will go through the tunnel. So I'm gonna wait a few more moments before we go down to the Gorge waterfall and see if I could hear the train coming or not. If it does, we'll get a nice shot of that first. And if it doesn't come, then yes, my ears are playing tricks on me. But you guys will find out in the next clip probably. It appears no train, so we're going to continue on down this path to check out the waterfall. Now I'm going to tell you in advance, this is a pretty, I don't want to say treacherous, but it could be dangerous, especially now with some ice, some leaves, some stones, some water. It could be slippery, so take your time, go slow. If you have to, reach out, take my hand. We'll go nice and slow together. But let's get down there and check it out. All right, you're doing good. We're about halfway there. Just to give you a little view from here too, we are pretty high up above the water, and you can see the rock cliff there at the icicles over towards the tunnel area that I was explaining before. Definitely a day I don't want to get wet, I'll tell you that. So watch out for the puddles. And you can you can see how sloppy this is. This is wet, muddy, partially frozen. So it is not ideal, but again, slow and steady will win this race. And I believe we're going to be the only ones down here, which would be great. So we won't have anyone in our way to get some nice shots. And as you can probably hear, the water is getting louder and louder. So fingers crossed that this mic will still pick me up when we get down here. You may remember too, I was here, I believe it was summer of 2019, for a meetup. I believe it was Alan's meetup, Revenge of the Apocalypse. And when we were down here, there was a group of people jumping off the gorge into the water, and it made for some pretty cool footage, slow motion, reverse, stuff like that. So if you want to see that video, down below in the description and up here in the corner, that video will pop up and you can check it out. Oh, look what I found. Hang on, got something to show you. I do believe we found a toy, and a Christmas toy at that. It is a little gingerbread man Pez dispenser. Now let's put him right in this little drill mark here. There we go. So I'm not sure if that was left here deliberately, or maybe a little boy or girl left it or dropped it, but it'll be right there. Maybe they come back to look for it, they'll find it right there. And as I spin around, you could see the power ahead of us here. But I'm jumping ahead because I do have some icy steps here. This is pretty slick and nasty. Big step down. And before we show you the falls, I'm going to spin you around and show you the amazing view here looking back towards the train bridge. That is definitely photo worthy right there. You even see a big anchor, like an eye hook right there. So during normal summer months, Steamtown does run their excursion here. Or I should say their Scranton Limited, which is a Sunday train ride that they take from Steamtown, come here on the bridge. They stop there for a few moments to let the passengers get a nice view. They lay on the whistle, which echoes through the valley here, and then they backtrack. When they do further excursions to Moscow, Gouldsboro, or Tobyhanna, they continue all the way through the tunnels. But on a regular basis, the Delaware Lackawanna, which is famous for having a huge collection of Alco locomotives, does run across that bridge pretty much daily. So they come here at the right time. You can catch it. I have in the past. I've even caught it coming through the tunnel on the other side. So if you're looking to get some train action, this is definitely a decent vantage point, but I'll show you a better one a little bit later on. And here's the view that I have. You'll see in the distance the treehouse and the treacherous waters of Nay Aug Gorge. As beautiful and amazing as it is deadly. And I'll share some more details about what is supposed to be in the depths of these waters. I have you guys sitting on the railing here, so hoping nothing happens that you guys fall in the water, or else you won't be seeing this video. But up to my right here, up above this mountain, used to be an amusement park called Luna Park. I don't know too much about it. There is a little bit of information online if you want to research it yourself. Luna Park. It's been gone a long time, and Interstate 81 that's up there is basically paved over much of it. There's very little remnants of it on this side of 81 and the other side. But they did have rides. They had a long bridge. They had, you know, I think even a water type attraction, like a slide or something like that. It was, you know, pretty historic for the area, you know, to have a park located here near another park. So Nay Aug Park here used to connect to Luna Park. The gorge here has been here the whole time. But the unique thing that I heard, and again, it's just rumors, but it is possible it could be true, is that when they were deconstructing parts of Luna Park to build Interstate 81, that some ride structures or equipment or something fell down into the gorge here, into the water. This water is reported to be 30 to 50 feet deep. People jump up from the top and can't touch the bottom. It is extremely deep, a strong undercurrent. It's a really dangerous location to jump and to swim. But it's reported that there is ride or equipment wreckage down in the bottom, and that people have gotten trapped, you know, when they jumped in, that their foot got entangled, whether with cable, wiring, metal, I don't know. For certain, that is just rumors though. So it's kind of almost creepy and mysterious, but interesting at the same time that, you know, a former amusement park that's been gone decades may still be under the water accidentally, and which could be responsible for the countless deaths. There's been, I'm not exaggerating here, I would say near 100 deaths in the last 20, 30 years of people drowning here. They either can't swim back, or they get caught in a current, they get pulled under, they get trapped. And there's been so many rescue attempts here and recovery efforts for people who have perished here or nearly perished. So you just got to come here and respect nature. You know, they want you to stay behind the railings where I am. There are ways to get over there. I've been over there myself in the past, but in the last year or two, they did put up the signs. There are cameras here now, and if you do get caught, it's an instant $300 fine. There's no warnings. They're going to, you know, hold you to that, to their fines, because they want to show that, you know, they're not messing around. They don't want to have to come here and put rescuers' lives in danger because someone wants to be brave or show off or something like that. So I just wanted to share that with you. I'd love to find out for myself, and unfortunately, I don't think they would allow anyone voluntarily to go snorkeling or scuba diving here, nor would they probably attempt it, because again, of the dangers involved. But to know that something could be under that water from a former amusement park, it's interesting to say the least. Now we can get a little bit closer. The trail, which barely resembles one, you have to basically climb over the rocks here, does continue a bit closer. So I'll take you over there, give you another vantage point. And we basically are right now below the platform. You can see the railing right there. That's where we were earlier when I showed you the top portion view. So now you have a good reference as to where we are as we made our way down. It's pretty wet here, pretty much all day, every day. There's also remnants here too of some supports and metal from, I believe, part of the bridge, if I'm not mistaken. The bridge I was just mentioning was a pedestrian bridge, and this looks like one of the supports that was located somewhere on the mountainside here, and the bridge again would have went straight across. I'll try my best not to get wet here. So this is legally as far as you could go. Obviously, that's where people do go, but we're not going to do that today. That is a strong torrent of water. All the white water is just churning, and you can imagine getting trapped in that. You won't have a fighting chance. As I mentioned, up there, where those people are, you can actually jump down into the water, which I did share in that video down in the description. People do jump from there, which is crazy. But during normal summer months, this is a pretty good party spot here where there'll be dozens of people here. They're having, you know, music playing, they're swimming, they're sunbathing, they're flying drones, they're drinking. None of which is allowed, except for the drone part, but up until last year, it was pretty common here. They didn't really have a way to chase people away, so I guess time will tell what will happen in the future when we get the warm summer months again and people want to cool off. There are plenty of other areas to swim that are far less dangerous than this. Even further upstream, underneath the covered bridge, there's some nice pools of water. You're not allowed there right now, but again, they are commonly used. I'm gonna snap a few photos here. Get one here at the bridge, which you'll see next in the next snapshot. And we'll do a selfie for old time's sake. So as you stop in those photos, you know, any time of year, winter, summer, spring, fall, you can come here, capture some great scenes from multiple vantage points, right where I am, even up on top there. Especially if you come here with a dedicated DSLR camera with interchangeable lenses, you could get some really, you know, money shots, so to speak. If I'm not mistaken, that lookout point where people jump from is called Killer. And I think you know why for obvious reasons, but people I've witnessed stand on top of the railing and jump. That is, I would say, probably about a 60-foot drop, maybe 70. And you're jumping into a bottomless pit with possible equipment and stuff down there to trap you. I've even seen people kind of walk the ledge here too and jump from here. Now, obviously, not that I'm encouraging this or condoning it, but if you were to ever jump in here, there is one kind of surefire way to escape without trying to lose your life. If you were to ever accidentally fall and slip in, you let the water push you out and basically go downstream, and down through there, it actually shallows out. You could walk your way out of there. A lot of people don't realize that. Their first instinct is to try to swim to get to the rocky cliff there. When the water's like this, you don't have a fighting chance. Now, when the water is just trickling over, that's a different story. If you're a strong swimmer, you can make it back. But if you were to accidentally ever slip and fall, you want to ride the water out, even though it's freezing, and walk out down there to your safety. So that's a look here at the gorge here at Nay Aug Park. We're going to now backtrack, retrace our steps, continue back along the Davis Trail, and check out the viewing platform of the train tunnels. From there, we'll snap a few more photos, and I'll share some information about the tunnels itself. After that, we will finish the Davis Trail all the way out towards the hospital. Not a whole lot to see along that way, but I will give you some highlights. So far, you guys are doing awesome. I'm glad to have you here with me. Wouldn't want to have it any other way, so I'm losing my orientation here too. I'll pick up with you in just a moment after we get past this watery mess here. So through the trees there are the two tunnels. That's what we're going to focus on next. And the best way to see them is just up here, what is known as the Doe Overlook. This is more or less a viewing platform, which gives you multiple views of different things, including 81, some power lines, but more importantly, the train tunnels themselves. And when you come up here, you get a direct shot of the two portals. And here it is. As I said, it is heavily covered in icicles above the face and all around it. And be careful when you're here too, because it looks like this is in need of some repair. That is definitely big enough to get your foot through. So that can be a hazard. Someone left their Miami Vice shades here. I'd imagine this will be repaired for the springtime. This looks like it just got rotted and they pulled out the piece of wood, but definitely be mindful if you come here. There are benches though. There is remnants of a tree that did rot out and they cut down, but the tree used to be standing back in the day. So weather and the elements does take its toll, but it is still structurally sound and safe. There are, I believe, metal supports underneath here, and there is ground underneath us. It's not a sheer drop off. Now for these two tunnels, I could tell you a couple things. Number one, firstly, if you want to find out all the details and to see what they look like, down below in the description, I do have a video. I actually took Lily here, I think it was 2 years ago, and we did a video dedicated to the tunnels. If you want to access them, you can only go through one of them, obviously. As you can see, there is double rails. This is an active tunnel. One of the tracks is a holding track, a siding. The other one is a main line. So it does see traffic pretty much daily. So and under no circumstances should you walk in the gauge or walk through the active tunnel. It's an instant fine, maybe even arrest. The second tunnel though, believe it or not, is actually the newer of the two tunnels. It was constructed after the current one that's in operation. That got wiped out in a flood, I believe, back in 1955. If you could see, which I'll take a couple shots and show you up closer, there is a washout coming out of the tunnel down into the roaring brook there. There was another bridge there. That bridge got wiped out from the flood in 1955. All the rails got twisted and bent. I did share photos of that in my video that I did. But again, that tunnel on the right, the abandoned one, is accessible. It's not posted. You won't get in trouble for being in there unless you're defacing it. But if you want to get in that tunnel, all you do is walk around, go across the covered bridge, and there are some trails on the other side that do take you down to it. Again, it's all shown in that video. But 1955, that tunnel was wiped out from service, and they just kept it now as a way to get in and out for like maintenance away equipment. If they need to do anything as far as traveling with vehicles, it is still accessible on the inside to go through it by a vehicle or equipment or on foot. But if you want to check it out, again, be respectful, be responsible. It is an active line. If the train's coming, obviously don't try to approach it. But on the other side is where you do gain access. We walked all the way through and walked back to get out. Up on top though, above the tunnels, is where the Luna Park area used to be. So above to the right and up over 81 is where Luna Park used to be. It's a better reference point from here. So, you know, if you come here, this is a great spot to see some trains coming, a great spot to take some photos. I filmed my drone here before. I've filmed a Baldwin 26 steam locomotive coming through, as I mentioned earlier. So it's pretty fantastic for views, for trains, for photography, for anything really, you know. But I just wanted to show you one of the more better known viewing points of the tunnels from here safely if you don't want to go down there in person. While I was here too, there was also a gentleman walking down there with a green cap on and his dog. And for a second, I thought they were going to cross the bridge because the dog went out onto the bridge. But then they kind of took a gander over the edge, turned around. Probably their usual daily routine. But I wouldn't recommend walking on the tracks, in the tracks. Just take my advice on that. But now we're going to continue on the Davis Trail here. Don't have too much more to go as far as the video length because there's not a whole lot to see, as I mentioned. But we're going to continue on, follow to the end. I'll show you where it comes out at, and from there we will probably wrap up the video. Weather is changing too as I'm making my way through the park here. There's a breeze picking up, cloud cover's getting thicker, and it just has that sense in the air like something is coming as far as weather or precipitation. Let's see time. Right now it is 1:27, and the storm is expected to arrive anywhere between 2:30 onward. So I guess the further west and south will be getting it first, making up here probably closer to 4 o'clock. Still plenty of time, but you can just tell it's coming. It's going to be nasty. Just like 2020 ended, 2021 is coming in with a vengeance. Unfortunately, this one does not star Bruce Willis. So while we're walking together, I do want to ask you guys a question. I know some people believe in it, some people don't. Some stick to it, some don't. But did you guys make a New Year's resolution? If so, comment down below, tell me what it is. Me personally, in the past I used to, and just like most people, after a few weeks or a few months, falls to the wayside. But I do at least have a goal set for myself for this year. It's not a resolution, just a goal, and simply just to be more active, do more adventures. Now some of you might be thinking, well, Jay, you already do a lot of adventures. Like, what else can you do? Basically just to get out more. I mean, I do a lot, yes. A lot of it does involve driving and road trips and doing live streams and stuff like that, which I'm going to continue to do. But I want to do more stuff like this. Even though I haven't done it in a while, and at certain points I do get out of breath, I do know it is good for me. And sometimes I'll bring the camera along, sometimes I won't. But it's just my goal to get out, to be more active, to do more adventures, use my mountain bike more. That's a number one thing right there. Mountain bike, my GT that I have, needs to get the dust brushed off and get dirty and get used, because I think I brought it out once in 2020, once or twice. So I definitely will be incorporating that into some type of adventure videos in the future, coming in the warmer months of 2021. I do want to do the Heritage Trail. I also have a couple other places, a former trolley line, and a couple other things that are going to be ideal for taking a mountain bike. So like always, when I do those videos, I try to do them as if you feel like you're there with me. So, you know, you guys will be having a perspective of riding the bike, getting some different B-roll views, stuff like that, to try to make it entertaining and engaging. But 2021 is a year for me to be more adventurous, more physical, but to still have fun and to put smiles on people's faces, including mine. But would love to hear from you guys, so comment down below. Tell me what goals or resolutions you guys have. And got a runner coming behind me here. I'm not going to be that ambitious though and go running right away. I'm not much of a runner. I could do long walks, I could do hikes, I could do biking. Running, I'm not built for it. So after my long spiel there about New Year's goals and resolutions, we made it to the end here. We come out where the trail and the dirt ends, and we do have a little monument here for our military. These are actually sheets of metal or steel, and they kind of are, I don't know, want to call it etched out. It has different members' names here, and the silhouettes, which are pretty cool. I guess these are the names: Arganish, Ball, Tudor, Veeder, and it just looks pretty neat right there, just seeing them. Slavonic, Puglisi, and the last one, Johnson. So they are all right here if you want to come see them for yourself. They are near the pavilion area here. They do have flags, a type of greenhouse right there. And as we walk out, I'll show you some more. So there's Geisinger Hospital. In the middle there is the gazebo and some more pavilions and walkways. And here is the beginning or end of the Davis Trail. So this is where you come out at. This used to be a former way to go for the Christmas lights show. In recent years, they did change it so that you don't come back this way anymore. It's more so suited for pedestrian use, but this is a gorgeous area to come and to, I'd say, have a picnic, or to do like a photo shoot, even to come and read a book, whatever you want to do. In the summertime, it's pretty shady here. We got some beautiful stone walls, stone steps, picnic tables, It's just a nice little quiet area directly across from the hospital. And the hospital, for those on that side of the building, have a nice view of this park here. Beautiful architecture on these steps. It's a nice little covered pavilion here. Well guys, if you made it this far, I do want to thank you first off for joining me for today's adventure. This has been a great way to kind of kick off the first day of the new year. Although we've been here many times before and this was nothing exciting or out of the ordinary, I did have a good time, and I want to thank you for joining me on this little adventure and to kind of kick things off in the right way for 2021. I do have a lot of proposed plans for this coming year as far as content wise. Some are etched in stone, they're going to happen no matter what. Others, if the stars do align, hopefully they'll happen. I'm not going to share anything yet because I don't want to disappoint anyone if they don't happen, but I do have a good agenda, not only for the rest of this winter, but springtime, summer, and the entire year. I will give you a couple hints. It does have to include some different modes of transportation. It does have to include getting wet a lot more, using some new tools that were given to me by my viewers, such as a metal detector that's waterproof, so that will kind of give you a hint right there as to some of the things I'm talking about. Obviously more meetup events, pending the whole pandemic thing. If things do open up and are allowing small groups of people, we will be doing meetups in Altoona at Lakemont Park, Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, and one or two others. Definitely going to get back to Ricketts Glen, which we didn't get to at all for 2020. So I think this year I'm going to try to make my best year yet, for content wise, for entertainment wise, for pushing myself to get out, do more, show more, to be a better content creator, to try to speak better without fumbling so many times. The one big change obviously is Sunday Night Live did change. For those of you who do watch that, it is now an every other week show. So every other week the show does come on, and it's a full show with mail call, going back in time, question of the week. But the question of the week is now up to you guys. Question of the week is on the community tab prior to that show. And you guys will give me some proposed questions, and I will pick your name and your question and give you a little shout out. And that will be our question of the week. So some small changes, some bigger ones. I'm really excited though to see what the rest of the year has in store for us, because it's been a roller coaster ride and one that's not been very enjoyable. So with that said, I hope you guys make the best of this year. Try not to sweat the small stuff. Try not to nitpick or worry about other people's actions. Just focus on yourself. That's what I'm going to try to do. What's in the past is in the past, and obviously we can't change the past. We don't have a DeLorean. So just kind of trudge ahead and make good decisions. Take it a day at a time. And in the end, hopefully we'll all pull through. So with that said, I just wanted to say to every one of you, I hope to wish you a very safe, happy, and prosperous new year. I hope you guys get to enjoy it more than last year. And that if you ever find yourself, bored or lonely or need somewhere to go or someone to talk to, my channel is always here for you guys. So you know how to reach me. So take advantage of that if you need to. But I'm going to get out of here, get home, beat the storm, and enjoy the rest of my day. So thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, if you did enjoy any part of this video, the easiest way to show your support is to give it a thumbs up. Until next time, guys, I'll see each and every one of you in the next video. So for those of you who made it to the end, here's a little bit of bonus footage. Here's the topside view of the David Wenzel treehouse. It is at this time currently closed. I think just for the winter time. They don't want people going out there when it's covered in ice or snow, but this is where you would access it. And again, that's where we started our video, just underneath it. So if you ever want to come check it out, it is right here, just before the zoo, right up there. And as you can see, there are more Christmas decorations. I also wanted to point out too, I do have one more goal I forgot to mention. Aside from being more active and adventurous, I got to work on my outros. My outros have been getting long-winded, and some people may not mind it, but I do. I don't like to waste your time any more than I want to waste mine. But I usually end up trying to get everything out in one complete sentence, one saying without having to break it up or cut it up. And sometimes I get carried away. So I'm going to try to work on having some more streamlined, more compact outros, if that makes sense. Unless, given the circumstances, if it does require a longer one. But I just wanted to pass that along as well and show you the top side of the treehouse. And now we could officially, gotta work on my talking, officially end the video. Instead of putting a photo up, I'm going to say thanks for watching, and to get out and explore your world. Take care, everyone.